I've never used a married call. Most of that reason is because my main account is in an IRA and I can't short stocks, Fernando. So I can't do that in that account. My other account over at Ally Financial has money in it, not as much money as in my IRA. So yeah, I never do the married call position. Following what Kurt suggests in that video that he and I did years and years ago, that's available for blueprint owners and radioactive trading, playing the bear side of the market. Sometimes I might just buy a put and leave the cash aside, and if the stock turns, I'll look to buy into the stock at that point and adjust the put position to then treat it as a married put. But just long put initially with leaving the cash aside to buy it to sort of profit on the put, and then if I think it changes, I'll go the other way. I prefer, if I think we're in a bearish mode, using the limited risk married put approach rather than doing just the opposite of shorting the stock and buying a call. I will use the married put on an inverse ETF or a 2x inverse ETF. That's what I like to do. I'm more comfortable with, so I don't have to think backwards. Where income method one would be selling a call against the married put. Well, income method number one in married call is selling a put against a married call. I get it, and I know it doesn't change the graph, and you've got different rights and obligations, but they all work out, and how it performs. I understand all of that. I just don't want to think backwards all the time. So I'll keep it with just an inverse ETF, most likely, or 2x inverse ETF if I feel we're in a strong bear market again and I'm looking to do married put positions. I've done it twice, I think, in my track record here at radioactivetrading.com and the Fusion subscription. One was on SH and it was very slow going and I didn't like it. So the next one I did, I think I did, I can't remember if it was TQQ or not, or the SQQ. I can't remember, SQQQ. So I wanted something that was a little bit more, had more kick to it than just SH, which moved very, very slowly, even it was a bearish market. So the 2Xs are maybe a little bit better performance-wise, even though the put's going to cost more for the inverse married put position. Raymond, let me know if you got any more insight, if you're able to talk to your broker. Raymond had a question came in, and oh shoot, was it AVT? He called me this afternoon. He's looking for Ernie, but we talked a little bit this afternoon. Yeah, it was AVT. Great. Okay. So I don't know the expiration. I don't know the time frame. But Raymond said he had bought a put on AVT, an in the money 60 strike put. I don't know where or how far out in time. Let's just use September. 60 put. And then he said he bought a put. That's what he told me. He got into a put, bought a put. And we know what the put would be. The stock is going down. We don't have any particular obligation because we've bought it. And we're expecting the stock to move down in price. Depending on our price, we know what our upper or our lower break even. This one I used here, and he got it at a different time. But now with the stock at 47.87, it's so close to intrinsic value at this point. The break even is just slightly below where we are there in that case. And then what Raymond said is that he doesn't remember doing this, but he had an order filled at his broker, and he bought 100 shares of stock at around 47 or so. And I said, well, that's not too bad. You're in a married put position. In this case now, you've got a deep in the money put that you bought. And then at some point, there was an order to buy shares of stock at 47 or 47.50, I think you said, somewhere around, or market price maybe at 47.87. And I said, okay, that's not a problem. You're in a married put position now, and this actually looked attractive. It's a bulletproof married put position. I don't know if you talked to your broker, and what I fear in this scenario is what you did is that you actually sold a deep in the money 60 put that got assigned. So you sold a put that was deep in the money, and the person who owned the put exercised the put, which means you're now obligated to buy 100 shares of stock that's trading at 47 at 60. So you no longer have the put. You just have 100 shares of stock at 60 minus whatever premium you received. And so if you did receive around the $12 and you bought it at 60, well, you'd have a cost basis of $48 per share. I think that when you told me, whoa, sorry, that's right, I can't do that here. It's I could do it as a synthetic, but I think that's what happened. I think that maybe when you placed your trade entry with your broker, sorry, folks, I thought that would take me back directly, that you may have accidentally put in the order to sell to open the 60 put, not buy it, Raymond's. So you're in a naked put position. And the owner of the put decided he was going to close out his position, or many investors holding the 60 strike put, whatever expiration, decided they were going to sell to close their positions. The market maker has an imbalance, so he had to start exercising the in-the-money naked puts at that time. And what is the obligation when you sell a put? You have an obligation to buy shares of stock if the stock is trading below the position, below the strike price. You can be assigned at any time. You said that you bought a put, but the way you were describing it to me on the phone, I fear that you sold to open this in the money put rather than buy to open. You were assigned on the deep in the money put, and now you're long 100 shares of stock at 60. But if you took in that $11 or $12, your cost basis is down to $48 or $49 on a stock trading at $47.87. Raymond, I'm not sure if you talked to your broker about what your confusion was and what they were showing you, but it sounds to me that that's kind of what happened. But again, if you did talk to them and I'm wrong and you got it figured out, let me know. If this makes sense, maybe what you did based on your brokerage account, and now that you're long 100 shares of stock, that you bought at 60, but you kept the $12 from the premium you sold, so your cost base is really around 48. Maybe that's the case too. I'm not clear, so let me know. Okay. All right. So Dave asks, is there a webinar on synthetics? Anytime you have any question about a webinar on a specific structure, specific strategy, Dave, just go to the YouTube channel. Go to our YouTube channel. And, this is the standard view here. Find Power Options YouTube channel. Use the magnifying glass search icon and just type in your terms, synthetic. There are a few, not many at all, but there are a few. So let's take a look, synthetic. So analyzing and adjusting a synthetic stock position, creating a synthetic long stock position on Power Options, synthetic collars, credit spreads, and debits. Well, I think it's synthetic collars and then discussion on credits and debit spreads. A synthetic straddle, not the great term, Dave, but that's what I'm talking about, using a married put, but I have twice as many puts as the shares of stock. So I buy 100 shares and I buy 2 puts in the married put structure. That creates what we call a synthetic straddle, because it's a straddle profit and loss chart, but it's putting up the money into the stock to benefit of both sides. Synthetic stocks, synthetic positions. I don't know how in-depth that discussion goes, and that's from 2 years ago. Plus protecting a synthetic long, same way as you would use a married put. Married puts, alternative setups, and 3 other concepts. I think we talk about the synthetic married put versus buying the stock and buying the put, but doing the synthetic long with the put as well. Okay, so a few of them there, not as many as you'd see for other strategies such as credit spreads, covered calls, naked puts, poor man's covered call, diagonal calendar, but there's still some there. Different ones on the synthetic long stock position, and some management techniques around it, and then synthetic other structures, they're listed here as well. So that's the easiest way to do it. You've got a question on what webinars does Mike have on X or Y, go to YouTube, use the search feature there, type in your term. Let's go back to what you were talking about a little while ago, Dave. Short strangle. Short strangles, introduction discussion from 9 months ago. Short strangles, adjustments from a year ago. Managing a short strangle and introduction to iron condors. They kind of go hand in hand, don't they? Discussion on short straddles and short strangles. Structures, risks, and concerns. That might be a good one for you. It's about 35 minutes long, I think I just saw. Yeah, about 30 minutes long. Okay. Managing short strangles. Yeah, so there's some ones there that'll help you out too, Dave, with your short straddle and short strangle discussions also. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is 5:43 p.m. Eastern time, not quite 5:45. If anyone has any last-minute questions, I'm going to encourage you to go ahead and send those in. I did not see any last-minute questions come in, of course, but I just want to remind everyone that today's material are my thoughts on your questions designed for educational purposes, increasing investing performance, and options knowledge. Any stocks or options discussed today should not be taken as direct recommendations or direct trading suggestions. As we've seen and as we've tried to evaluate through, options involve risk. Any strategy, it may not be suitable for all investors. Now, we did have a chance to look at the profit and loss chart today, the portfolio view a little bit. We saw the search tool and some of the criteria that we could use, and we looked at the calculator tool as well. But, of course, remember, you can take a 14-day free trial to Power Options at any time. Just put in your name and email address, and you have full use of the site for 14 days. Portfolio tools, no credit card information is required. After that, subscriptions start at just $45 per month, and that is for the end of day data. Oh, I'm sorry, just a weird thing popped up. I apologize. But that is for the end of day data, of course, as well. And different subscription levels. We also have at $65 per month, that's the delayed service. Data is 12 to 15 minutes delayed. When you run a search, you're looking at the portfolio. The upgrade to that is the historical service. It's just $35 more. It gives you everything that you have on the delayed service with full historical data of what we have about 6.5, 7 years back in time. And of course, we do offer the real-time service and the premium service, which includes real-time, the full history, and of course, the API, programmer's interface. You can cancel at any time, you can upgrade at any time, and of course, free coaching is available on all levels of subscriptions. Of course, other education we mentioned, you can just go to the archive webinars and scroll through our posted. It's done by date, and there's not a search feature on that. So as we saw for Dave a little while ago regarding synthetics, if you want to see, hey, what videos does Power Options have on X strategy, Y strategy, or management, check out the YouTube channel. Go to the channel. Go to the magnifying glass, search there, search on our channel for the topic that best matches what you're looking for, and you'll be able to see various videos. Or, of course, call me or email me, and I can point you in the right direction. If you do think of other questions, send us an email at any time to support@powerop.com or support@radioactivetrading.com, or you can call us during market hours at 302-992-7971. Of course, trial members and subscribers, remember, you can schedule a free coaching session at any time. That's essentially a 35 to 45-minute phone conversation with myself or Ernie. We will walk you through the tools on the site and answer any questions that you have.